Good afternoon, members of the media. Thank you for joining us this afternoon here at the scene of one of yesterday's serious road traffic collisions. Joining us this afternoon to address the situation with regard to road use and speed and such is Chief Inspector Mr. Robert Cardwell of the Tactical Unit, Police Tactical Unit, and the Chairman of the Road Safety Council, Mr. Dennis Lister III. We're going to hear first from the Chief Inspector, Mr. Robert Cardwell.
Yes, good afternoon. Sadly, we're here today on the heels of two road traffic fatality collisions that occurred yesterday in very close proximity of time. Mr. Leon Thomas and Mr. Marvin Lamb both lost their lives in collisions yesterday. We're here today to appeal for any witnesses, and we know that there were witnesses out there, to please call the police telephone number 295-0011 with any information that you may have had or what you observed regarding those collisions. Sadly, what is happening in Bermuda is that because of the quarantine effect, we're seeing a reduction in traffic on our roads, and some people are taking the liberty to use that reduction on the roads to drive faster, ride dangerously, and careless driving. We're seeing an increase in that. Certainly, we're seeing the social media posts regarding people who are fed up with it and who are afraid to drive and ride on the roads because of the dangerous activity that's occurring. We're asking people to take our advice and slow down. Ride carefully, ride smarter, avoid collisions. I have today instructed our roads policing unit to step up traffic enforcement. That will include speed laser operations. And I plead with the public to avoid getting those speeding tickets. The speeding tickets are $400, $500, $600, and I don't think in these economic times anybody wants to part with that money. So our advice is simple, and that is just to slow down, ride careful, and ride smarter.
Good afternoon. The Bermuda Road Safety Council would first like to offer our most heartfelt condolences to the families of our two most recent road fatalities. In the last 24 hours, we've seen a spate of road collisions, and we ask and implore motorists to drive safer. Slowing your speed, paying attention, not using electronic devices, and minimizing distractions are all our ways to reduce collisions. We all share our roads, and we must do our part to make them safer. This leads into our slogan from May: 2 wheels, 4 wheels, 1 road for everyone. Whether it's a 2-wheel vehicle or 4 or more wheel vehicles, we all share the same roads. Driving with care and caution helps protect and keep all road users safe. Unlike in other jurisdictions, in Bermuda, we don't have specific or special traffic lanes such as HOV lanes, cycle lanes, express lanes, and other types. All traffic must travel on the same roads, in the same lane, under the same restrictions. This increases the interaction between 2 and 4 or more wheel vehicles, and we ask that motorists do their part. 4 or more wheel vehicles have size over 2-wheel vehicles and should use caution while traveling near them. Always give ample time and space between 2 and 4 or more wheel vehicles to ensure safety for all. 2-wheel vehicles must also do their part to be safe. Under the TCD Traffic Code Handbook, duties toward other road users states in Section 90 that all road users must ride in single file whenever road or traffic conditions require it, and never more than 2 abreast. To reiterate what has been said before me, speeding is all too frequent on our roads, and I personally plead for motorists to slow down. It may take longer to get where you're going, but the life that you save could be yours. In these times, we are living under curfew, and again I ask motorists to plan ahead. Too many collisions have happened due to this in the past year. If you're going to be out in the evening, give yourself enough time to get home without speeding and taking into account other traffic before curfew. We want motorists to remember always to drive with care and caution, to slow down, and to be careful, Bermuda. Thank you. Any questions from the media?
Driving standards possibly due to the lack of
Yeah, I mean, we are on the road. All of our operational units are out there. They're issuing traffic tickets, they're issuing motor advice notices, and the like. But obviously there's room for us to increase that enforcement, and that is certainly what we seek to do as of today. Not necessarily. I can't hear you.
Perhaps been thinking that they want to give people a break these last couple of months, since last year, because of the economic times, maybe they're not competitive.
Yeah, I mean, because of the curfew restrictions and all of that, we're spread pretty thin on the ground on enforcement, and certainly when we are spread thin, traffic enforcement sort of takes a back seat. But what the officers do issue, it's called a motorist advice notice, and that's more or less the officer stops you and issues you a written warning, and that written warning doesn't come with any penalties. So those do get issued quite regularly.
You were talking about the state of driving during this time. Have you identified the contributing factors to yesterday's incident?
Yeah. Contributing factors include inattention and speed. Certainly, all the traffic laws apply equally to pedestrians to be cautious on the roads. That includes looking both ways before you cross a road, being aware of your surroundings and the traffic around you. But the laws equally apply to pedestrians to take care and caution when using the roads.
I'd like to jump in also. Yes, pedestrian safety is also paramount. The Road Safety Council, what we do each year in the month of October, we have a pedestrian campaign to teach people how to properly use pedestrian crosswalks. As we have seen from yesterday's incidents, it's not common sense how to use or how to be careful and cautious around a pedestrian. So for pedestrians, when you come to one, remember where they have the buttons to hit the signal so that you can make drivers aware. And for our motorists, when you come to a pedestrian, please slow down, because a person can step out at any moment, anything can happen. So when you come to them, be aware, slow down, and for pedestrians, also be aware of the motorists that are around when you come to a pedestrian crossing.
Just in a nutshell, there is no amount of policing that we can do to substantially calm down the roads. That comes down to individual choice and decision making, and what we're asking people is to be conscious of the decisions that they're making so that they're not getting caught speeding and so they're not getting involved in collisions.
Okay, thank you, members of the media. And again, anyone with information on any of the recent traffic collisions, you're asked to call 211, or of course the main police number 295-0011. Thank you for coming.